The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Welcome back to Skating Penguin Network, everyone. It is the evening of November 6th. The Penguins, about an hour ago, wrapped up the game against the Washington Capitals at home at PPG Paints Arena. Their first meeting against the Capitals this season, a renewal of the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry. Ovechkin coming off goal number 900 the night before. Down in Washington, so he gets that milestone out of the way. But before we dive into the specifics of this game, as always, Snail, other end of the microphone, out in Seattle, he also watched it. He watched a little bit on a tape delay, but I wanted to keep the surprises fresh and no spoilers tonight. So he did wrapped up a little bit later than the live action, but Snail watched it as well. But before we jump into the game, Snail, how are things out in your neck of the woods?
Things are great, Robbie. Yeah, oddly enough, already are having conversations about Thanksgiving plans. So
yeah.
November is a ticking away, just as October did so quickly. We're going to be entering the holiday months. We're starting to take down some of the Halloween decorations, which, I always arbitrate to let them kind of linger. I know November, you kind of creep into the holiday season towards the end there, but it's still fall. Some of those decorations are still appropriate for the month of November. But yeah, kind of a transition happening within the house, little things like that, kind of giving it a little bit of a seasonal update. But other than that, man, all's pretty good. It's rainy. It's Seattle weather from here till probably April, it's going to just be that Seattle fog, the Seattle rain. It's going to be very wet. So that's what's going on out here, man. How are things out Pittsburgh way, out east?
So far, so good. It's been a little the temperature is, at least during the day, has kicked up a little bit. So it's not quite as cold during the day. The nights are still getting a little bit chilly. Maybe a little rain tomorrow, but it's been fallish weather. Nothing to complain about. There are some prospects of maybe a little bit of snow.
That's what I was going to ask. When's the snow start showing up?
Yeah, nothing major. More or less just maybe a little bit's laying on the ground in the morning if it snows at all. We are supposed to get some chilly weather next week. Down highs are around freezing. So that those are going to be some chilly days, but the extended forecast mostly sun, which is sun and that nice crisp fall weather. You can't beat that. No. And it feels like football season. It really feels like hockey season now, and we're rolling right along here. The Penguins back in action after 2 days off at home. The Capitals are in town. Always a good time when Sid and Ovi get together on the ice. Like I mentioned, Ovechkin was coming off goal number 900 last evening against the Blues in Washington. So the Penguins are rested. The Capitals were a little weary. But there was a window this evening where this was going to be another episode of me ranting about the Penguins' inability to close out a hockey game because it's very, very similar to Monday night in Toronto. The Penguins go out to a 3-0 lead. They are dominating. They stop dominating, blow a 3-0 lead. It's 3-3 after 2 periods. And a lot of the just bad hockey habits kind of shown through in a little bit in the second period. Let off the gas. They lost momentum, could never get it back. The Capitals had a goal taken off the board for an offsides, and then it was immediately given right back with a legal goal. But, they do, in the end, get out of it with 2 points, which is the important part.
Yep.
They do buckle down in the third, refine their footing, get a big goal from Brian Rust. Connor Dewar puts it away with a shorthanded goal or an empty net goal. But Sidney Crosby gets 2 goals in the first on the power play. Ben Kindle gets his first assist on the power play. Anthony Mantha gets another goal, his 7th of the year. Crosby is as of right now, the co-leader for goals in the NHL. But okay, unlike the game against Toronto, the Penguins were able to refine themselves, settle down, and get a goal in the win. But it just, so much of what we saw tonight and Monday night, maybe it's just a like PTSD thing of the past couple years where, man, they have the momentum, everything's going well, and then one bad thing happens, they just cannot get that momentum back, and it just kind of snowballs.
Yeah, man, I feel that sentiment. So like you said earlier, I watched the game a little bit later. I was about a half an hour late to the game tonight. And I've been doing this thing that I've said on here. I'm not jumping to live action. I actually will start the game. It has that option on ESPN and other streaming services. So I'll just rewatch the whole first period and then fast forward through the intermission. So I get caught up, it's depending on what's going on at home, I get caught up, pretty well within, a reasonable hour. So when I watched that first period, I was just like, I was ecstatic. I mean, the Penguins looked amazing. Not even just by Penguins standards. Like, I would say, like, they look like a top team in the league. We watch a lot of hockey, Robbie. When they get buzzing and they're moving, there's not enough good things to say about them. I was thinking Ryan Graves is in the lineup. Like, maybe Ryan Graves figured it out down in the minors. He's a quiet defenseman. I also had almost like a thoughts and prayers for Owen Pickering, that the fact that Ryan Graves might be taking ice time away from you coming up here in the future. But like you said, that second period, man, the demeanor changed. I was I was very quiet for that whole second period, and I'm ruminating. I'm like, what? I wish I could ask Dan Muser, like some coach, and just be like, how does this happen? Is this a mental thing? Is this a lack of personnel? Because sometimes the Penguins look like world beaters, and then sometimes it reminds me of the Sullivan era. It reminds me of those games where it feels like the ice rink gets tilted towards the Penguins goaltender, and they're just coming downhill at them the whole time. So they exchanged some blows, and if the Toronto game hadn't have happened, I would have maybe been a little bit more in the mindset of, this is going to be a Ovi Sid classic, just exchanging blows. Sid's got 2 goals. I believe Ovi had 2 assists in the game. I don't remember if you said that or not, but he had a couple assists in the game.
Yep.
I'm thinking, man, this could be trouble for the Penguins. Ultimately, after that second period, but the third period, those wavering feelings of just kind of like, PTSD, whatever you want to call it, they kind of were fading because I was watching their play. They proved in the third, Robbie, that they can button down. Like, they can make safe plays. They can hold on to pucks and not turn it over. They're not making plays. They're holding on to the puck, and they're staying within position. Like, the defense isn't scrambling. Shelovs isn't seeing a plethora of shots. I kind of was like, okay, we just need someone to score. And who better to put one in than Brian Rust, who was around it all night. He had 2 posts in the first period.
Well, Snell dropped off there, so I'll just keep rolling along here. But yeah, Brian Rust had a very good game before his goal ever went in. Evgeny Malkin set up his game winner.
Sorry, it's a blustery night out here. I think our Wi-Fi kicked off for a second. But what I was saying was, Brian Rust around it, 2 posts. And I was going to say, what I was literally just about to say before my internet kicked off was that goal he scored. Dude, that is such a hard shot. That redirection sort of, I don't know, it reminds me of like shoveling dirt. Like, you're not really shooting a wrist shot. You're not really you're not one-timing. I mean, he's kind of is one-timing it, but you're kind of like in a position where you're shoveling dirt and you just redirect it high over the shoulder there of Thompson. Unbelievable. That's exactly the type of guy that you need to come through in a close game like that and put a puck in the net.
Yeah. And you said Brian Rust was very good before his goal in this game. The 2 posts, he has an assist. He has the main assist on the primary assist on Crosby's second power play goal. And then he's rewarded for all that in the final in the final frame in the third period, a power play goal itself, a set up by who got the assist on this one? Ben Kindle got an assist on this one as well. He wrapped it around, and Evgeny Malkin wasted no time. This puck was on his stick and off his stick immediately, tape to tape, perfect pass. Couldn't have made it any better. That was
just a dime of a pass.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Rust would have been all at fault if that puck wouldn't have been in. Rust had an easy job, and he tapped that thing in. Perfect pace. All Rust really had to do is have his stick on the ice, and Charlie Lindgren had no hope on that one. But no, the Penguins, they do find a way to settle it down. They had to kill off a Connor Clifton penalty in the first 10 minutes of the third period, and I really thought, like, man, when everything was going Washington's way at this point, but they kill off that penalty. Things seem to settle down. They kind of had to kill off like half a penalty. Ben Kindle threw one over the glass. They had to kill off less than a minute of it because Dylan Strome evened it up after a cross check on Parker Wotherspoon. So it wasn't a whole kill there, but
bad penalty by Strome, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in that position, you can't take that penalty.
How many times have we seen Gino Malkin do that?
Yeah, that's a very Malkin thing to do. That's a very because everything's kind of going your way at that point. You're on your second consecutive power play. The Penguins are still on their heels. Man advantage, obviously, and you just take an unnecessary penalty in the attacking zone. It's a fundamentally bad penalty, something that they teach you at the youth level. You can't take that penalty. Strome does, evens it up. And that ended up being the Penguins scored on the back end of that then. So it was kind of a double whammy for Strome. It negates the Capitals' own man advantage and then gives the Penguins a man advantage that they score on. And the Penguins in this game, they score 5 goals, 3 of them via the power play. So good night for the power play. And I will say, we talk about how good Dan Muse has been. And I said back when he was hired, the most important thing with Muse is getting the staff right. And Todd Nelson, who we thought may have been a candidate for the actual head coaching job, comes over from Hershey, from the Capitals, a rival farm system.
If it wasn't for that guy, Carberry, he'd be the coach of the Capitals.
Probably. And Todd Nelson comes over, experience as a head coach in the NHL, but he goes to the AHL, wins a couple Calder's, helps develop the Capital system. A lot of the guys that are playing for them now went through him, but the power play was much improved last season under Dan Quinn. It's at a different level right now. It
couldn't have gotten worse after 2 years ago.
No, it couldn't have. But the movement on the power play right now, especially with Kindle out there able to distribute like he can, and then obviously Crosby, Rust, Malkin, Letang, or Carlson out there as well. I mean, when that puck is moving like that, it's so hard to keep up with. And Kindle with a beautiful feed to Crosby on the first one. The second one, Crosby, it was a nice shot on goal, bad rebound by Lindgren. He couldn't corral it. Crosby was right there to bang it in. But they're causing all sorts of problems for penalty killers with the way the puck is moving. And Todd Nelson has been an absolute home run hire for Dan Muse and this Penguins team. Just, again, they've nailed this assistant coaching staff, which is what I thought was most important. And Todd Nelson, you need to give him his flowers because he is the power play absolutely moving and shaking right now.
I think they're second in the league.
I'm going to check it right now while we're talking here. But, the Penguins, they're first as of right now. They moved up to first tonight with what were they tonight? They were a 3 out of 5 effort tonight, and one of those was an abbreviation. They scored on the first 2, didn't score on the next 2. Oh, wait. No, Mantha's came before the next power play. But, yeah, they capitalized on the Stroh mistake. They capitalized on the 2 early penalties. And as of right now, on November 6th, they sit at a whopping 35.9% on the power play.
I mean, it's early. That's amazing though. It's early. But I mean, Robbie, if this keeps up during like the majority of the season, they're a playoff team, aren't they?
I mean, I'd like to see the number. Like, there can't be many teams that have a top 5 power play and don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, totally. When you put it like that, absolutely. So, but we'll take things game at a time here. The Penguins are rolling right now. They look great, but as we know, they have their faults. There's still some blemishes, and tonight, I kind of wanted to talk with you about the roster tonight. Like it kind of shows like there are some holes in this lineup. Like I'm sorry, but like, and this is not me kicking dirt. They won. I thought the team overall, they came together and they played well. But I mean, Hollander's not in the lineup tonight. Brunnicke's not in the lineup, which if the Penguins didn't have one of Carlson or Letang right now, he'd be in the lineup, I think, as sort of a second puck mover type guy, kind of the old Justin Schultz type of player. But yeah, I mean, you got Danton Heinen getting a look tonight. You got Ryan Graves back up. I think Danton Heinen's leading like the American Hockey League in scoring or something like that. Or maybe it was
again, Heinen's probably like at this stage in his career is like what they call in baseball a 4A player. Like he's too good for the minors, but maybe he's not quite fit for an everyday role at the top level. Yeah. Heinen's a guy that, I mean, he's had success in Pittsburgh. Like he was a really good player for a couple years with the Penguins, and he bounced around a little bit after that. He came over in the Marcus Pettersson trade last year. He has a year left on the current contract. And again, he didn't throw a fit when he was sent down. He went down, did his thing down there. And yeah, he was going to be one of the first names to be called up. Ryan Graves was not abysmal tonight, which is about the best thing you can say about Ryan Graves. Yeah. But right now, it was coming at some point, but right now the injuries, the injuries came hard. And Justin Brazeau, we're looking at 3 weeks out of the lineup.
The Penguins are feeling that one, man. I mean, I think we could get away with Raquel. We could probably hold steady without Raquel. No offense to him. I mean, just with Ben Kindle emerging. I mean, on that right side there, and you already have Rust. But they're feeling that Brazeau, man. That Brazeau guy is, I don't know. I think that offensively, obviously, he was a point-a-game player in the 12 games, I believe, that he played, or however many games he played.
Yeah.
But I think that second line too, like you look at, like you put Tomasino on there. Tommy Novak was taking shifts with the second line. Having that size on that second line with Brazeau, Mantha, and Malkin, like it's a tough line to play against when you've got skilled guys that know how to use their body and size like they do. We're feeling the pinch from Brazeau for sure, man.
Yeah, which is not something I would have thought we were saying back at the beginning of the season. But yeah, his body, his skill set has definitely been missing a little bit the last these games that he's been out. So hopefully they get him back as soon as possible. Noel Chari is going to be on the shelf for a while, but again, a guy that he does bring something, but he's, especially with Kevin Hayes probably being back in the fold here soon, and Danton Heinen, not the end of the world. But another big name, Tristan Jarry, is out for at least 3 weeks, which clears the way for the big call up of all of this. Sergei Murashov is probably going to make his NHL debut either Saturday or Sunday when the Penguins play New Jersey or the Kings. So,
which game would you give him?
I'd give him the home game.
Which would be the Devils?
No, LA
or the
on
Kings?
Sunday. LA on Sunday.
I'd give him the Kings game too. I wouldn't throw him to the Wolves.
They struggle so much against the Devils. Like
we already talked last time. Yeah. We kind of chalked it up to a loss.
It's a Saturday 12:30 Eastern puck drop. It's the Devils on the road. Let Shilovs wear that one. Murashov is the next big name. Give him the home game, the last home game before you head overseas. Yeah, just let him do it at home, and let's give Shilovs back-to-back starts. I mean, no goalie started back-to-back games yet this year for the Penguins. Give Shilovs,
let him cook.
Let him cook. But no, I mean, the big new Sergei Murashov. It is Murashov time.
He's on the bench.
Yeah. What happens if he goes out there and is just unbeatable?
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's just a complete gas can.
No, I mean,
if he's a gas can, oh well, no one's expecting him to.
He's still young, like he's still like 22. Like they'll just send him back to the AHL and it won't be a problem. But what if he goes out there and just like is just a superstar?
I would personally deliver a bus ticket to Tristan Jarry back to Wilkes-Barre.
They put him on waivers again, through like literally no fault of his own. He just got hurt, which. I mean,
but hey, man, that's the game, and I'm not to like injuries suck, and Tristan Jarry's been good this season, man.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's been like completely acceptable in goal, like what we've been asking for like years now, just
since 2021.
Average. Yeah, just be average. We can the talent will take care of the rest. But I mean, Jarry's hurt, and now the door's open.
Yeah, and Tristan Jarry, he's going to be paying close attention to these games that Murashov gets a peek in, because, like you said, Jarry's out for like 4 weeks?
3 or 4 weeks, yeah.
I mean, dude, I know that Sweden takes up a good chunk of that time, but like Murashov's going to get some games in here, and if he is, Matt Murray 2.0, the good Matt Murray, the Matt Murray that took Flowers' spot eventually. Man, that's a good problem to have for the organization. Tristan Jarry is such a good soldier, man. He would probably wear it and end up back in the American Hockey League. Him and Ryan Graves probably at some point together on the bus, some of the richest dudes in the American Hockey League. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. You never know. There's going to be bumps in the road, but there's also the argument, is there going to be bumps in the road? Like, Murashov just seems to dominate wherever he goes. Like, it doesn't take him long to adjust. I mean, he went from juniors in Russia to, like, I don't know, did he play in the KHL? I forget if he actually, like, played in KHL games.
Yeah, he played KHL games.
He was dominating KHL games, and then he goes to Wheeling, and he immediately... He won like 12 games in a row in Wheeling or something like that.
Something insane.
And then he has like how many shutouts this year? And the I don't know. The guy just dominates wherever he goes. So it'll be. I'm really looking forward to seeing him get a sniff. And yeah, there's also sneakily like no one's really talking about him, like other than Penguins fans. Like there is no buzz about how many prospects and other. I mean, I remember years ago. We all heard about this Devin Levi kid that was in Buffalo that they got in the trade for Sam Reinhart.
Yep.
Like every team and that Askarov in Nashville. Remember we were hearing about him.
He's in San Jose now.
He's in San Jose, but he was the prospect because they re-signed Soros.
Yeah.
No one's talking about the Sergei Murashov freak that's down there in Wilkes-Barre right now. So honestly, the quieter the better for the kid, and let him come up and just let the play speak for itself. But that is a spicy meatball that I am excited for. And yeah, Tristan Jarry might be he's going to need to pay attention here in short order.
I mean, hopefully in a few weeks they are talking about Sergei Murashov. That's the ultimate hope. Let him fly under the radar, keep the pressure off of him. But he's going to get games. I mean, I see no reason, especially with obviously a nice long break coming in between the Global Series games in Sweden. They have 4 days off getting out there, and then they have 4 days off coming home. But then they have like to end the month, they're going to have a bunch of games stacked together to make up some time. So you're gonna have opportunities for him to play. Let's hope he goes out there and shows out. That's every Penguins fan's dream. Like, and even if in the end he ends up going back to Wilkes-Barre, you know that he can handle NHL shots, NHL action, and it's another, again, the injuries suck. No sugarcoating that, but it's super cool that we're seeing Ben Kindle light it up. Now we're going to see Sergei Murashov get his chance in the NHL at some point here in the next couple days, and then a couple more times, I'm assuming, over the next couple weeks. So, I mean, yeah, the Penguins get this win, which is a big win, but on a bigger scale picture, there's still so much to be excited about. But like you said earlier in the episode, still holes in this roster, obviously. Mm-hmm. You see it. You see some guys just maybe falling asleep a little bit on assignments and just letting teams back in it. Like, if it would have been if the Capitals would have got that first goal tonight and then the Penguins would have responded with one of their own, completely different story. The Capitals, again, fought back, tied the game. But the Penguins, luckily, thankfully, did flip the script from the other night and got a big third period goal from Brian Rust to eventually walk out with a win after Connor Dewar sealed it with an empty netter, his, I believe, fourth of the season. So not bad for a fourth line guy to have 4 goals through like 15 games by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't think Connor Dewar is really a fourth line guy. Like, I think he could be kind of like a third line player.
Probably. I think just with the roster construction he gets, and maybe his style of play suits him.
Him and Lizotte are nails out there, man. Those guys.
Hey, Lizotte has been, if he can stay healthy, Lizotte has been very solid since coming over to Pittsburgh, and nothing you can really say about Blake Lizotte outside of the. I think he had a concussion last year that kept him out a while, and maybe another ailment, but he's been nails this year, healthy, playing really good in that fourth line. That Penguins fourth line is the best fourth line they've had in quite a few seasons. It has not just like an edge to it; it has some skill to it as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to be interested.
It's a modern day fourth line.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it looks when Kevin Hayes starts getting some game action, because we know that Hayes can pop in a few here and there. Yeah. Heinen has offensive upside. Achari is probably like the least offensive option they have for that fourth line.
But he's a bowling ball.
Yeah, he's just miserable to play against, which, I mean, helps guys like Dewar and Lizotte too.
I'd love to see Boko Amama get a couple tries on that fourth line, because if he can make clean hits, I'm not looking for Tom Wilson type foolery. But if he could, we saw last year, he has a shot on him. He scored a beautiful goal last year.
He scored a beautiful goal last year.
And he's fast. He's pretty speedy. He can hit. Like, I'd love to see a guy like Boko Amama be able to get in on that fourth line action. I don't know why he didn't get the call. I guess there's just the fourth lines. We'll see. He'll get up here at some point. He missed a lot of the. I mean, during the offseason, he had surgery on his shoulder, I believe. So he's probably getting back up to speed still. We'll probably see him. But, man, some of the veterans getting the call up tonight to get the first cracks at some of these open roster spots from the injuries. But, if the injuries continue throughout the year, which with the Penguins, that they have injuries happen. There's a lot of youngsters, too, that if I'm a veteran, like if I'm a Kevin Hayes, if I'm a Danton Heinen, watch out, because there's some talent down there, man, for the first time in a long time. No offense to Sam Poulin, but
no offense to Sam Poulin. I believe Avery Hayes took a knock, so he's sidelined. I don't know if there's any kind of extended in, but they thought, because he wasn't at practice yesterday, I believe, and they thought he was going to get a call up, but it turns out he was working off the ice on a with some kind of ailment. They didn't really explain too much, or if he's going to miss any kind of significant time. But we know Avery Hayes is going to be in Pittsburgh at some point. Boko, I'm trying to think what would, like, again, like you said, Boko missed a lot of the preparation this season because he didn't really have an off season to work out and get conditioned because he was recovering from surgery. As you remember, he did miss most of the end of last season with an undisclosed injury. I believe, like you said, had surgery. But yeah, Boko's going to be up at some point. Maybe it'll take a game against like something nasty happens in one of these games where they feel like they need him to get up there and kind of flex his muscles a little bit. But no, you're going to see Boko at some point. You're going to see Avery Hayes at some point. You're going to see Tristan Brose at some point.
I thought that Brose was going to make the team out of camp.
Yeah.
Like, he was good in preseason, and from everything I heard, it was amazing that Kindle was the one that stuck around out of those two because just from what you'd heard and seen out of camp and preseason. But yeah, these guys are going to get their looks, man, and it's going to be a fun season as far as growth within the organization and all that. But Robbie, I had a question. Oh, sorry, continue. Sorry.
I was just kind of capping it off there.
I was going to say before we wrap this up, I did have a question. And, after watching the game tonight, I watched it from the beginning. I watched the whole like preamble where they do the classic Sid and it started with the OV kind of just what do you call that? Like a montage is what I was trying to say. And then they do the Sid montage. And right now in hockey, it's interesting. Like a lot of the great rivalries are not what they were. Like, do you remember? We kind of touched on this, I feel like, in the last episode, but those California teams, those rivalries were amazing. And then you have, like Toronto. I guess you would probably say Toronto, Ottawa probably had the bigger rivalry a long time ago, like back in like the late 90s to early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, they met in a couple playoff series, so yeah.
But historically, the Habs Toronto Maple Leafs is a good rivalry. Edmonton, Toronto, Boston, Habs, Boston. If you're of a certain if you're of a certain vintage, Edmonton, Calgary. It's not a good rivalry right now because of where the Flames are at essentially. And when the Flames have been good, the Oilers have been no good. But my question is, I'll get to it here in a sec. It's like, out of all the rivalries in the league, the historic ones, the good ones, the Blues, Blackhawks, like whatever, has the Penguins Capitals rivalry held up have been the most potent the longest?
So I think the answer is yes, because and I mentioned this after the Flyers game, the personalities matter as much as the history and the teams.
Oh, 100%.
Again, I said, like, when you had Giroux in Philadelphia, that was the kind of the opposite of that was the Flyers' answer to Crosby. In the Battle of Edmonton or Battle of Alberta, you had Matthew Tkachuk.
And Evander Kane on the Oilers, Cassian.
But I mean, just like Tkachuk and McDavid, like those were the superstars. When you had San Jose and like Vegas, like you had the two playoff meetings, and then you had like Pavelski and Couture going up against like Stone and trying to think of who some of the other big names are out there, but like
it was Pacioretty, I think. It was it was those like original Carlson, Marchessault.
LA and Anaheim, like Getzlaf, Perry against Kopitar and Brown and Doughty and
slobber knocker when those guys would play.
I'm trying to think, like right now, like I think the Battle of Florida should be a little bit better, but like Stamkos is gone now, and like Tampa Bay doesn't really have like that huge personality. Obviously Kucherov's fantastic, but he doesn't really have like the massive personality. Rangers, like Flyers, again, missing the personalities right now. Anything with Boston, Toronto, just because it's just usually chaos.
Yeah.
But now with Marchand out of the picture, like that kind of takes away that rivalry. Moving.
Now it's like Zadorov who's trying to be like the That guy seems like a moron, man.
Yeah. But like moving the Red Wings out of the West has kind of taken some of the shine off of. But again, like with the Blackhawks, like you don't have, like you have the Red Wings who have been just either bad to mediocre for over a decade now, whereas the Blackhawks kept ascending and then obviously dropped down. But you don't have that inner conference rivalry anymore. So if you really look at Pittsburgh and Washington, both teams are kind of following the same trajectory. The Capitals maybe like last year were a little bit better. Obviously, I mean, they were the top seed in the East. Penguins didn't make the playoffs, but you always have Crosby and Malkin. They're the Crosby and Ovechkin, and then another way you have Malkin and Ovechkin in a different, like, countrymen, but
they had beef early on, man.
They did. I think a part of that was probably a rivalry, a country rivalry. Like Ovechkin was always the bigger star, drafted number 1. He was he has all the records. He was the captain. Like he was the Capitals. Malkin was never the Crosby was always the Penguins. But those guys are still, 1, they're still playing, and 2, they're still playing at a relatively high level. Ovechkin, again, record last year, breaking Gretzky's record, 900 this year. Crosby off to a torrid start, leading the league in goals. And then, Malkin is just, the countryman rivalry of that as well doesn't get talked about much. But the reason the Penguins and Capitals has stayed, I'd say, in that upper tier as a rivalry is because those two guys still are there. They haven't played in the playoffs since 2018, but it's still, this is always hyped. Like it doesn't, like you got a little bit of the Penguins Flyers feeling a couple weeks ago when they played,
right?
But it's still very new for a lot of those Flyers players. Whereas for the Capitals and Penguins, I mean, you just get new guys come in and they learn from Crosby, they learn from Ovechkin. We don't like these guys; they don't like us. Now, I think at one point Crosby and Ovechkin did not like each other, but there's definitely in their older age
they're cordial.
Yeah, a mutual respect between the two, because like not only are they a great rivalry, they both exceeded even our wildest expectations.
Ovi's right; they saved the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, you can't coming out. That was what, a year after? No, that was the year.
That was the year of the
coming out. Yeah, they came out. They both were. Ovechkin was drafted a year earlier, but they came into the league the same year. They went head to head. Ovechkin won Rookie of the Year. Crosby won the first cup. Crosby always had his number in the playoffs until Ovi finally got over that hump. But there's a definite mutual respect between those two because they know how hard it is. They've lived that spotlight for 20 seasons now. They have gone through this together, and like it would almost be fitting if they go out together and go into the Hall of Fame together. But I mean, that is why this rivalry still seems like it has. The teams might not be competing for like Stanley Cup favorites like they were in the heyday, but they are absolutely, the rivalry still has some teeth because those two guys exist. Whereas if you look at other rivalries around the league, they ebb and flow a lot more because names change, teams roller coaster up and down. And it's not even necessarily a pure hate with the Capitals and Penguins anymore. It's just the games are always entertaining.
That's the one thing that stayed consistent, I think, is it's not, we don't have Brooks Orpik anymore on the Penguins. No. We don't have, it's not Mike Green on the Capitals hurting you on the power play, just dishing them to Ovi. It's there was a transition there. And the Penguins, they had Niskanen, they lost Niskanen, they started playing Niskanen on the Capitals. Like, man, it's the names have changed, but the Sid and Ovi definitely, I think, to your point, have kept the rivalry potent, man. Like still getting up to watch, even whether they're in the playoffs or not. And that was kind of, I was curious what you thought, because looking back at all the rivalries, like right now when I turn on the TV and I look at like Kings Ducks. I'm not necessarily. I'm not, rabid to turn that on like I used to. Where if I was seeing, that the whatever they used to call it, like the freeway something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That rivalry, I used to be like, oh, Corey Perry, Getzlaff, Manson was on that team, Cam Fowler, Bieksa at the end of his career.
Yeah.
And then you got the Kings with Brown, Kopitar, Doughty. I mean, Doughty's still there. Muzzin, all these Slava Voinov. They're all these players that were, they made it such a. It was going to be those games were nuts, man. Like shit would go down in those games. And it's just not. It's like right now you look around the league. Like I saw Minnesota, Nashville playing last night. 2 teams in the Central, and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to watch that tonight. So watching tonight, I was like, this is like peak television. Like, the fact that it's on a Thursday night, I'm like, this should be on a Friday or a Saturday night. Get the popcorn out, get the cold beers out. That's how it felt turning this thing on. The whole preamble to the game, I was like, thank God for this, because you could be in a position like some other organizations where your rivalry that you really get up for just doesn't have the teeth, like you said. It's not what it was. So it's great to watch these guys, and it's even better when the Penguins pull out 2 points and Sid's on the board for 2.
Yeah. Crosby loves scoring in these games. You just know that he absolutely relishes scoring against the Capitals and Ovechkin. And Ovechkin's the same. Ovechkin definitely it gets a little more amped to score against the Penguins as well. And credit the NHL, like they're going to milk this for all it's worth, but you can't say it's not worth it because of how good these games still are. I'd love for one last playoff series.
Whoever wins that usually goes on to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, really, literally. That's not even that much of an exaggeration.
No.
But the last 4 times they met, the winner of that series went on to win the Stanley Cup. But I'd love one more run going against those guys.
That would stress me out.
Oh, and all, yeah. I mean, those series were always just so. Just so adrenaline inducing. Like, just you're on edge for basically 2 weeks. Like, even on off days, you're just like, it just feels like you have like adrenaline coursing through your veins all the time.
Yeah, it's an unreal time when they're playing in the playoffs. You know what? Give me Penguins, Maple Leafs. Penguins with a secure spot at the top of the division. Maple Leafs, a wild card team.
Actually do it the other way so they can be the ones that knock off the promising Maple Leafs team.
Oh, that would actually be better. The Penguins are a wild card. Yeah. Toronto's a top seed, and they're frothing to get the Penguins. Yeah. And then watch Sid just go God mode, and Ben Kindle just, I don't know. Give me that, because Toronto, man, they're picking on the Penguins a little bit. They had a whole segment on that TSN show, and it was just, do the Penguins make the playoffs? I'm like, shouldn't you be asking yourselves this question about your own team? Like,
was that the one you sent me? They're talking about like Carlson would fit with the Leafs.
Oh yeah, that was a whole separate day. I think they were like, it just showed Eric. They played. It was right after they played each other, and it just has Eric Carlson next to a Toronto Maple Leafs logo, and it's like, would Carlson be a good fit?
Because that's Kyprios, Hayes.
No, it's Brian Hayes, Jeff O'Neill, former NHLer, and Jamie McLennan, who was a goalie in the league for a long time.
I mean, if I will say, if the Penguins would ever knock the Maple Leafs out of the playoffs, you would see a news headline from Seattle: naked man with beard.
I'd be like one of those guys
caught skateboarding down I-5.
Yeah, with a Kessel jersey on and no draws.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually
hammered down a vegan. He was arrested with a vegan hot dog in his pants. Not quite sure. Not quite sure what's going on here, guys. But I mean, that would be Snail's like magnum opus. Would be the Penguins again. That would be just every take would just be absolutely red hot coming out of Toronto.
Oh my God, they would self-implode. I mean, it doesn't even take the Penguins. That would just be icing on the cake. That would be my Stanley Cup final, would be something like that. But they self-implode every time that something happens up there. So anyways, I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was hilarious. Those guys, it has to be Dubas, man. They're salty about Dubas.
Oh, that's a whole nother
they were calling it the Dubas Bowl when they played.
Yeah, that's a whole nother element that that we wouldn't even be prepared for, like how much just insane takes would come out of the Kyle Dubas situation. Like that would be like, okay, Crosby, whatever. Like that would just be because Crosby, Toronto, whatever. But like the Dubas aspect of it all would create some of the most insane takes you've ever heard in your life. Like just downright the dumbest stuff. Like it would make Phil Kessel Hot Dog King look like child's play.
It would be insane. Yeah. But I would be here for it. And we're getting ahead of ourselves here a little bit. But hypothetically,
I just want to play in the playoffs. I mean,
yeah,
really, I
don't care who they play. Just get to the playoffs. They play
like the Monstars from Space Jam or something like that.
The Monstars. That's a good one.
No. So yeah, Penguins get this win 5-3. Crosby nets a pair. Brian Russ with a big game winner. Mantha and Dewar add to their totals as well. It's shaky for a while, but unlike against Toronto, they buckle in the third, get the dub. Big 2 points that halts the losing streak. It keeps their longest losing streak of the season at just 2 games. But now they get ready of a day off Friday, 2:30 Eastern on Saturday at the Rock in Newark against the Devils. We know that's going to be a tough one regardless if it's at night or during the afternoon because it's the Devils. And then they return home on Sunday for a 2:00 matinee against the Kings. And that will be the final game in North America for quite some time. But we'll talk more about Sweden after these 2 games. But Snail, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, just God. You said the game's at what time on Eastern time?
Saturday is at 12:30 Eastern, so that would be 9:30 out in Seattle, and then 2:00 Eastern on Sunday in the middle of football season. Thankfully, the Steelers do not play until Sunday night. So I mean,
nice little
doubleheader action. But so 2 Eastern, 11 Seattle time on Sunday. Not quite as early.
Not quite.
I mean, what's it like waking up on Saturday morning out there and bam, hockey?
I kind of like it because how often do you get coffee, hockey with your coffee? You know what I mean?
Well, I will say the Sunday after they play 9 a.m. Eastern when they're in Sweden. So that'll be way. I don't often because obviously they don't generally play home games or any early, like 12's like the earliest they'll play.
Yeah, it's 12, right?
Yeah, so like I'm not past coffee at that point. I could drink coffee all day.
Right.
But like never, I'm not sitting down with like eggs and a bowl of cereal.
Right.
I'm usually cooking up some lunch.
Exactly.
I don't get breakfast hockey very often on the East Coast. So
I'll tell you this, man. Sometimes it's rough. Like sometimes you wake up and if it's the Devils, I might turn it on and it's pretty soon there might be a drop of whiskey going in the coffee just because that's how those games can kind of go.
Yeah,
let's hope not.
Yeah, let's certainly hope not. But yeah, that is the Penguins' schedule this weekend. We'll again with the Penguins being off, a bunch of off days. We're gonna come up with some good content. Definitely got to get a mailbag out there. And
gotta get a mailbag. Maybe we'll get Garrett that slime ball who left us high and dry. He was sleeping.
Yeah,
we were gonna have Garrett on.
Spoiler alert: the guest star that never showed up was everybody's favorite former co-host of the show, Garrett Bahana. He fell asleep. Too many hoes.
Yep, that's exactly it. But yeah, we'll get creative.
Garrett was out with shin splints.
He was out with shin splints. He was passed out from the pain and taking too much Tylenol. But yeah, man, I don't know. We're gonna have to get creative. And maybe we'll bring back a mile in Kyle's shoes. Maybe we'll take a peek at that.
We need to do that. And I was thinking to like let's remember some guys. I don't know if you are familiar with that concept of just like naming some guys that you remember from hockey past.
Yeah, and let's just talk about it. Wax poetic about just some guys.
Yeah, another one I thought was, I've seen this on social media, is like you get like a randomizer of all the NHL teams, and then you click, and whatever team that shows up, you have to pick a player for a imaginary lineup from that team. Like you get all 3 forward positions, 2 defensemen, a goalie, and like an extra attacker.
I could spend hours doing this kind of stuff, man.
So something like that. But yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of stuff with these big gaps and days off while they're out over in Europe. So if you got nothing else, Snail, I got nothing else.
We're good to go, man.
Penguins win this one 5-3. Doubleheader this weekend for everyone. Enjoy it wherever you're at. Hopefully the weather's nice. It's February. Real Thanksgiving is just a few weeks away.
It's November, not February.
I don't know why I said February at all. I have no idea why I completely just threw in the wrong month there. Let's not get way too ahead of ourselves. Yeah. We are less than 3 weeks from Real Thanksgiving.
The only Thanksgiving
that I recognize per my own made-up religion. But so for Snail, I'm Robbie. We'll talk to you guys later next week.